Hello YouTube gamers and welcome to the Hearthstone series, New Player to Pro. My name's Richard, aka Fuzzy Wumpet, and I'm going to be taking you through this video tutorial adventure. Today we're playing with a particular concept in mind. We're going to discuss the concept of a beatdown versus a control deck and how to play a control deck. And there's a specific reason for that. If you're watching these videos, I expect that you're a new player with access to all 9 heroes, and ideally you want to have each one at level 10. Have all 9 at level 10. You'll better understand what cards I'm talking about throughout the video when I refer to them by name, and you're also going to better understand why I'm playing cautiously against a late game mage that hasn't used any flame strikes and so forth. You're just going to better understand what we're talking about. But ideally, you are a gamer who is really enjoying Hearthstone, got all the classes unlocked, and now really wants to learn some of the new, some of the soft skills that a lot of the players coming from Magic the Gathering and Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon, whatever, the ones who have learned what a beatdown versus control is, what a control deck is, what card control, board control, tempo, all those things, you want to learn about those to factor into your decision-making process while playing the game. So I'm here to teach you those skills. The first thing we're going to talk about today is beatdown versus control and board control. So I'm going to ignore card control. Some more experienced players that might view these videos are probably going to point out, hey man, you should have brought up card control here or there or what have you, but I really want to focus on one thing at a time because I believe it's easier to learn. There's plenty of articles about this, but I wanted to show you organically some examples of this concept being applied in the game because I think it'll be a lot more solid. So real quick, as we jump in and search for a player, what is beatdown versus control? Well, a beatdown deck or a beatdown strategy is essentially going for the face, taking a player out as fast as possible. The reason I'm choosing control first is because as a new player, you have you have access primarily to the basic cards, the basic decks. The one I'm using today you can find in the description. If you've got a warrior to level 10, you can use the same deck I'm using right now. These decks are primarily control focused. They just don't have enough early game power to be an extreme beatdown deck. And that's why you're going to find that control is more important as a new player. And that's why I'm going to talk about that here today. So what is control then? I talked about beatdown. It's just taking a player out as fast as possible. Control is the opposite. Control is making many moves that are aimed at simply owning the board, dragging the game out with you in a positive board position. So you have 2 or 3 minions on the board on turn 9 where your opponent has none. Even if you've taken more hits to the face, you have less health, it doesn't matter. That's successful board control if you're in that position. So naturally, as a start to a positive, successful control match, you want to start by getting minions out on the board on turn 2. If you have nothing to play on turn 2, you're in a disadvantageous position. It's not saying you can't win, but it's going to be very difficult. So I've played my Bloodfen Raptor. He put out that, and now that was not an advantageous move on his part because I'm going to be able to pretty easily eliminate that card and still have cards on the board. That's what I'm going to do here. So now, effectively, he has nothing. I've still got a card on the board. And that was a 1-for-1 trade, so really no skin off my back. That was a pretty positive move on his part. And we're going to the 4 turn. I do have a charge to play. Let's see what I get. Another Arcanite Reaper. Not huge at this point. I'm going to actually go ahead and play that charge. And I'm going to use the ooze to take that out. It's going to live anyway. And then swing for the face. So now, this is why my strategy of on turn 2, I took out his minion versus swinging for his face, is now I've got control of the board. I've got 2 minions he's got to deal with before he has any chance at staying on the board. I wish I had saved that ooze. I wasn't sure if he was going to be holding that card. Not all paladins do, but he does. Not a big issue though, because ultimately he's still giving me a really solid run at card control. Board control here. Gonna keep that Stormpike Commando. In my particular deck, there's a good reason for that. I played my weapon to get it on, but ultimately I'm not going to use it, and you'll see why as the turns go. When you're playing a hero that has a lot of weapons, and again, you're playing a control deck, you want to use those weapons on minions. Ignore the fact that you're taking damage unless you're down to like 10, health. Then make a judgment call, but ultimately, we're still up at the high points of the game, so that was a smart move on his part, using that weapon to take out the minion versus attacking the face. I commend him for that. And then he's got a charge, who's going to be able to take 2 out on me anyway. Ultimately, okay, usually I wouldn't want to use my Arcanite Reaper, but I think having that now become a 5/1, you know what, I'm still not going to use it. Instead, let's go ahead and drop this Stormpike Commando. Now, there's a couple things I can do here. I could drop this Corcoran Elite and just charge at that, but I don't want to lose it. Instead, let's use the Stormpike Commando to eliminate that without losing any minions on our side, and then use the weapon to take out his 1/1. So now we're back to that position where we own this board. We've got something on the board. He doesn't, and we also have that weapon. It's a 5 damage weapon. Again, we're going to ignore the concept of taking hero damage for now because it's still early enough for us to do that. And ultimately, as a warrior, we're blessed with this beautiful power of gaining 2 armor, so it negates the first 2 damage I'm going to take against a minion. And with this much mana piling up, that's something we can very much afford to do. Let's see what he's going to do. Argent Commander, it's got a Divine Shield. That's kind of a pain. And again, he's swinging for the face. Not wise. Especially because I just got extremely lucky and drew my Elven Archer. So now I can get rid of that Divine Shield without any minions taking damage. I'm going to go ahead and shield my warrior to negate those first 2 damage again. Take that out. Play a charge. Now I'm going to get to swing for a total of 8 damage. And I still have 3 minions on the board. So this is a pretty advantageous position. He could have Holy Nova or Consecrate. Sometimes I mix those up. I apologize to the... there it is, Consecration. So deal 2 damage across the board. I still walk away with 1, but he just had to spend 5 mana to do that. I could still have... okay, charge. He's going to have to take himself out. Or, again, be silly enough to attack the face. That's going to put me in an advantageous position once again. Let's see here. So 9, that's excellent actually. I'm going to go ahead and put on my armor. Play the weapon. Again, use the weapon to take that out. Charge him. And lay that down. There's a reason I did that. He might have Consecration again. It'll suck. I'll lose both my minions. But if he doesn't, I'm going to be able to take him out this turn. If he doesn't lay down a taunt, he's done. Let's find out what happens here. But this is where board control is huge. I took the damage to my hero to take out his minion for the purpose of board control, versus using that 5 damage to attack his face. Because I wanted to make sure he had nothing on the board that he could buff up or otherwise use to counter, to turn this game back around. And honestly, I think I've got him based on the way he's looking at those cards. Let's see. Alright, ooh, he's got charge, but it's not going to be nearly enough. He can take something out. Got +4/+4. Actually quite smart on his part, because now he's going to be able to take out either one of my minions and survive the hit. But ultimately, he would need to take out both in order to save him, and he's got now no mana left. So he can take that out, not a big deal, because I still got 5 damage on the weapon, 3 on the raptor, and that's enough to go ahead and end the game. So I hope you guys learned something from this. It's been a pleasure recording. Feel free to ask any questions in the comments. Also comment if you'd like to see a specific concept illustrated or something specific that you'd like me to teach or talk about, and I would be more than happy to do them. If you're looking for more decks, again, feel free to comment, and I'll try and get more decks out to you guys. In the future, expect we're going to be doing some more parts of this series where we're going to talk about different concepts, and some of them you can expect very, very soon. And then we're going to go through a beginner series where I give you decks for each class. In this episode, you actually saw that very warrior deck. I'm going to link it to you now. You don't have to wait till that future series. But that was card control, board control, guys. So keep in mind, try and force 2-for-1 trades as much as you can for warriors, rogues. If you've got weapons, use those to force 2-for-1 trades. One weapon takes out 2 minions, and you've got it. See you next time.